Hola, mi gente. Welcome back to another episode of the Corazon Chronicles podcast. Super excited to be here.
Let's go. Let's go. Welcome back, guys.
Yeah, we're doing a lot today, okay? We're tackling a lot of topics. This is going to be kind of our thoughts on a lot of different pop culture moments that are happening right now in dating.
Yeah.
We've got some breaking dating app news that has to do with Elon Musk. We're just like, I don't even know where to start with that shit.
And that's significant for us because we met on a dating app.
Yes, and if you don't know our story, all you got to do is tune into episode 3 of the podcast, and we're sharing all the tea in there.
That's crazy that you actually know what episode that was.
Yeah, because that one was like a major one. That was like the announcement of like the whole relationship for a lot of people.
Okay,
that's a big one.
All right.
We're also going to be talking about a TikTok that I saw where she's talking about, are you secretly dating your biggest hater?
Yeah, that one you guys are going to be a little triggered on that one. It's like I just got done watching it with her and I was like, all right. I mean, she definitely has a valid point though. So
yeah. So, but I think let's start with this topic that I feel like everybody and their mother is talking about because she literally won't go away. Jada Pinkett on her toxicity tour for her new book where she's disclosed a bunch of shit about her marriage that literally nobody asked for.
Right. That's been her shtick though. Like that's her thing, right? It's like she just goes out and talks crazy. Ever since, how long has she been on that show? Is it The View?
No, she was not on The View. She was on her own show, The Red Table Talk. And first of all, she announced, for anybody that doesn't know, that her and Will Smith have been separated for 7 years.
Yeah, which is wild, through the whole entanglement.
Yeah, so
and
apparently he was aware of all the stuff. Like, they gave each other hall passes. They literally haven't been living together, but they will not get divorced because they've, quote unquote, committed to the fact that they're like life partners. I want to know your thoughts on this. Like, why the fuck don't they just get divorced? Because this feels so insanely toxic to me.
Well, we were just at the Chappelle show the other night. Chappelle came to Tampa. And he had some interesting input on this one too, but God dang, it's just so crazy because it's like Will Smith's an attractive guy, he's a wealthy guy, seems a very likable guy. I don't know why he can't just get out here and go do his own thing. I don't know why he's so stuck on her. I know it's the mother of his kids and stuff like that, but
maybe
just
it's the time.
I don't know. It's just the way that she is. And then all the shit with the Tupac and just all kinds of stuff.
She did mention that Tupac was allegedly her actual soulmate.
Yeah.
Even though they were never romantically together, according to her new book.
And then she said him and Will Smith would have been like really good friends or something. Like everybody gets to hit Jada.
Oh my God.
But like, and I don't know. I personally, she puts a bad taste in my mouth. I can't take her serious. I don't take her kids. I don't take the family serious.
Yeah.
I just don't. Will Smith was decent, but he comes across very fake, and obviously the whole family is just. I can't. It's hard to give any input on it because I'm so biased as far as like I just don't like her as an individual. So
it feels very gratuitous. I think the whole situation. It just feels very much like I'm just going to be as messy as possible for like dollars.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like with all the stuff that has allegedly gone on in their relationship, I don't know why you would actively seek to like put your business out there. And maybe just because as a Latina, I was definitely raised in the type of household that is like, you don't need to be putting your fucking business on blast, especially if like there's drama for so many reasons. Like even how that can affect your family's perception of your relationship, your friends, like they're always going to be biased towards you. So when you start putting your shit out there, it's going to be toxic. But then when you have a public stage and you're like inviting fucking strangers into your relationship, that
so
to me
crazy.
just feels nuts. Like, why would you even subject your family to that shit?
I don't know.
To sell books?
I think that Jada's never really had limelight, but she's never been able to be 50-50 in that house as far as like like
stuff to hang her own hat on.
Yeah, there's nothing, right? And then she ends up getting the show, and then the little bit of tabloids or whatever, and ever since she's gotten the show, it's been nonstop. Jada this, Jada that, Jada this, and I think it just speaks to how talentless she is.
Well, I think that actually probably is a big reason why they separated. Because I know she's talked about the fact that she feels like that Will as a partner couldn't meet her emotional needs because he was too busy like trying to conquer the world and make money and blah blah blah. And she was just like, I don't give a fuck about that. Like I want to feel like an equal in this relationship and whatever. So I think that what you're saying actually makes a lot of sense because it almost feels to me like she'll do whatever it takes to get the attention on her, regardless of like who's gonna crash and burn. Because I know like if my mom was out here on some fucking press tour talking about that, like they've been separated for 7 years and she's had entanglements and like dad's got a fucking girlfriend in Miami and like whatever the hell else is in this book, like I would be like, Mom, have you fucking lost it?
Does he have another chick?
I mean, he's had girlfriends that, but it's always been alleged because they've gone in public on the red carpet pretending like they're, the couple's goals and shit. Yeah. And then in the meantime, we now find out that it's all been a fucking facade, which I think that's what annoys me. Yeah. When it's like you guys want to be out here portraying yourself as like the Hollywood it couple that's like figured it out when so many people haven't. Right. And it's like, nah, y'all are just out here like faking like the rest of everybody.
Right. It's not like Swiss Beats and Alicia Keys or anything like that. I mean, I sometimes I even question the Jay-Z and Beyonce relationship.
That shit's toxic.
I just don't know. So, anyways, yeah, that's my thoughts on that. I wanted to get your thoughts on Bad Bunny's SNL appearance. So, just for you guys that might be out of the loop or whatever, don't care, but Bad Bunny was on SNL 2 weeks ago, and he did a majority of it in Spanish.
Yeah, that was boss ass energy. Like he said, I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna do shit the way that I want to do it, which is just completely on brand for him.
His English is getting pretty good.
He is clearly, Kendall's helping or something.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's a thing, right?
I mean, it is what it is. I think he's not really letting anything kind of get in his way.
Yeah, he's got a plan. I mean, if she's part of the plan, yeah, that's cool. But I don't think that I see him being the type to like fall head over heels and go out on this fucking like simp energy of like, oh my God, I got a Kardashian. But none of their men have really done that. Like all the sisters, all their men have just been like, yeah, I'm with a Kardashian.
Well, I would argue that Khloe attracts those simp dudes.
Here we go.
And maybe we'll transition into that, but
yes.
yeah.
Take it away.
So I'm a big fan of the Kardashians reality show just because
it gets played
it's fine.
Decent amount.
They're annoying and they're the people that you love to hate, but I also love I've watched them for so long that it's kind of just like it's interesting to just follow their journey. Yeah, and I can't hate on their business acumen. Like these people are fucking brilliant when it comes to just content brands. Like if you want to be a fucking successful influencer, go do it what the Kardashians do. Like they've basically put out a fucking blueprint. Yeah. And the whole family has followed the blueprint and it works. So at this point, I'm like, I'll take a master class from Kim Kardashian because the bitch knows how to make money.
Hell yeah. Yeah, the whole family does.
Yes. But one of the things that a lot of them have in common is their lack of success in relationships. And Khloe, which is, I want to say she's third in line, right? Because it's Kourtney, it's Kim, and then Khloe, I think. Okay. So Khloe, as a reminder, she was originally with like Lamar Odom, right? And they got married super early into their relationship. I want to say like a couple months.
He was the brothel overdose.
Yeah,
guy, right?
He's the basketball player, the LA Laker, who went on a serious like drug binge during their marriage, and she ended up finding him like almost half dead in a brothel. It was fucking chaos. He was cheating on her the whole relationship. It was toxic, terrible.
Gotta go out with a bang, man. I'm telling you, guys like that.
So she goes from that to Tristan Thompson, which is the father of her two kids. Who also cheated on her during both of her pregnancies in a very public manner. Paparazzi found that shit. With the second pregnancy, that was actually through a surrogate. He conceived another child.
While cheating?
While they were planning on having another baby. So it was fucking chaotic. And then obviously they broke up too.
Did he still have the child? Or did the
he's got a random ass kid that was born basically around the same time as Khloe and his second child.
All right, well, babe, this might be the perfect time to tell you.
Shut up.
I have conceived.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, So the latest episode of the Kardashians was Khloe talking to her mom.
Almost my entire life of men, they all have to realize how great I am after they've showed me how terrible they can be. So why can't someone see how great I am to begin with? Tristan's a great guy. If you don't think it infuriates me that I basically helped mold this person to who he is, and now the greatness of him gets to be shared with someone else, yeah, that's very frustrating for me.
Because everybody's like, when are you going to start getting out there again? Like, you should start dating. It's been a while. And they're even encouraging her to consider dating Tristan again.
Oh, shit.
Because, quote unquote, he's changed. He's done the work. He's a great father. You might regret this.
Still
blah,
got
blah,
that
blah.
dog in him.
Right.
Still got that dog.
Which is what Chloe's basically like, bro, I'm done. Like, we're not revisiting that shit again.
Yeah.
Too much damage has been done. And when they ask her, okay, but like, why aren't you putting yourself out there? She's basically like, I have a track record of attracting broken men that then I have proceeded to rehabilitate and turn into a better version of them for them to go and be with other women. So I don't want to do that.
Isn't there a movie? There's a movie. I think it's Matthew McConaughey, but it's something about he gets a spell put on him that every chick that he dates, they end up finding their true love right after him, and then he ends up like turning it into a business, right? And then like he meets this one chick and he doesn't want to go out with her because he wants him to be the yeah. It's a cool rom-com. It's cheesy, but
we gotta put the link to what the hell the name of the movie is in the description because I forget right now.
It's very Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, he was definitely an icon of romantic comedies for a very long time.
I mean, he was jacked. The guy had the body of like a fucking Hollister model.
Yes.
Jesus.
Yeah, so I'm curious on your thoughts about like, when you're that jaded, how do you get past that? Because I think there are a lot of people who feel like I've just continued to invest energy into shit that doesn't pan out. And then, I see this motherfucker 5 years down the road. He's a wholesome dad. He's like all the things that he said he was going to be for me, but he never was. Like, how do you not let that turn you off to the point where you just stop dating?
I mean, I guess that would be tough to not take it like personal, right? But I would say that you can't really get caught up in where someone else is at after you get, after you guys are done, because that's that person's timeline. That's their life's their whole little book that they've got going on. You can't really. Who knows if it had anything to do with you splitting up or any type of work that you did to this man of like, she's almost like I'm building these men for these women, but I mean, how much is she really doing? I guess.
She picks projects.
What is she like working on and fixing?
Well, like putting them in therapy,
making them like.
Giving them a stable home. She has this thing with like attracting men from broken homes where it's like, either they grew up with single moms.
She probably feels bad with how privileged she grew up. So that's like her way of giving out turkeys to the hood on Thanksgiving.
I don't know. Honestly, I feel like when you see a pattern, you have to start to think about like, how am I contributing to this pattern? This is not just happening to me. This is like conscious shit that I'm picking. And if there's things that continue, like, I feel like her two relationships were mirror images of each other. It was just like toxic guy, like on drugs, or he's like addicted to sex, or combination of that. They're both basketball players.
Then I guess she needs to figure out where she's meeting these men, because it sounds like she's meeting these men. I mean, obviously there's DM action, but I feel like they're running around in some type of LA circle. They're meeting these people at these little mansion parties and shit that it's like kind of exclusive. So being that high up,
your dating pool is limited.
The dating pool is so fucking small. I mean, it's like growing up in a small town, and then like once you've hooked up with fucking Bethany, now the other 6 or 7 girls that you would hook up with are all like, well, I can't do that to Bethany.
Yeah, because they all know each other.
Right. I can't do that, So like now you have to deal with that, and then you have to deal with people who are also super elite. That way you don't have to worry about anybody with wrong intentions, like whatever. You got your own money. I know that you're not like here because I have the money. So I don't know how she works past that. I don't know. I would say like I definitely wouldn't go.
Time.
What?
Maybe it just takes time.
Yeah, I wouldn't go back to the baby daddy. That's for sure. I would leave it as it is because, like she said on the show, and I am being the boyfriend. I'm watching these things. But she did say that like they're in a really good spot. They're really good friends. It's like everything's cordial. He's in good with the family. Like I wouldn't fuck that up. Especially really all you're adding into what they have right now is sex. By them being together is just sex, right? That's all you're adding.
Yeah, because they have an emotional connection through their kids.
Yeah,
it's not love, like romantic love, but I'm sure they like have mutual platonic love, like as human beings to each other.
Yeah, they're gonna save each other's life if it came to it. So
well, that's the thing. Apparently, his mom like recently passed away out of nowhere, and then she was the full-time caretaker for his disabled brother. So like Khloe took both of them into her house, like while this whole shit was happening. I don't know if I could be that generous
He's got
to
so
an
much
ex.
money, though. Why did he have to go crash with her? I mean, he could literally just go rent a fucking flat in a skyscraper somewhere for like month by month
This is
for
true.
$10,000 a month. I just need a place to stay. I'm not going to go to baby mama's house with my disabled brother.
I think honestly, maybe it was a ploy on his part to like get that quality time with her to see if like he could one last rekindling attempt.
I guess, but
it felt kind of thirsty. I was just like, bro, you ain't got nobody else you can call?
It just feels like, bro, you're balling out of fucking control. You got a Louis Vuitton fucking sweater jumpsuit on. That shit was every bit of $3,000. But anyway, so that's, I mean, I definitely wish her the best, though. She does seem like, she's just focused on the kids right now and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
more power to him.
Yeah.
Good luck. So, speaking of dating in an elite setting, did you know that there's like this really expensive app called The League that you can pay like upwards of $1,000 a month to be a member if you're like a rich, successful person that's looking to somebody to date?
This is actually makes sense because if I'm, making $50,000-$60,000 a month and I'm looking to meet somebody and I don't want a gold digging person.
Yeah.
Then I guess I would be more than willing to pay $1,000 or whatever a month just to be able to find somebody,
Yeah, there's apparently when you sign up for this, you get a concierge service, which basically like helps you figure out, it's almost like a matchmaker. Yeah. And, it tracks like how often you log in, if you respond to people's messages, how picky you are, blah, blah, blah. And it will also flag your profile if you're flaky or rude to dates. Because they're just like, nobody on here is going to be wasting people's fucking time for like $1,000 a month.
I don't really want to be on a dating site that has fucking ratings, though. Like, I don't want to see that this chick has 4.3 stars and she's been on 21 dates. Like, that's fucking crazy. Let my mind be what it is. I'd be like, no, she's clean, she's nice.
Yeah.
Fucking 3 guys, that's it.
I mean, I guess the good thing is like you're not going to be catfished because they actually do like vet your profile. You have to do like video verification and all this shit. And you have to have like a certain income level. They're going to verify all that stuff. So I guess like, besides hiring a matchmaker, maybe if, you want to try something and you're trying to meet some quality individuals.
I would do it. I would do the matchmaker thing too. Like we were watching that show, Matched or something. It's got to be something along those lines. But it's another one of those dating shows. Speaking of dating shows,
yes.
What are your thoughts on this? All of you guys know we watch 90 Day Fiance, and there's like 3 or 4 different versions. The last one, the one that just wrapped up, right? It's done.
The Last Resort.
The Last Resort. There's 4 couples.
There were 5, but they ended with 4 because one of the couples left because they broke up midway.
Right. So the gist of the show is they've got all these couples that are like veterans that met through 90 Day Fiance. And they're like in a rocky stage of their relationship, right? They don't know if they want to continue or whatever. So they get these 5 couples that all have issues and they bring them down to this resort in Marathon, Florida. And they have, it's essentially like Couples Retreat, the movie,
yes,
but like stretched out over like 2 months or something.
Yeah.
And so they're going to counseling and, they're airing stuff out and blah, blah, blah. Anyways, it ended with the 4 couples. And how did that go? I haven't seen it yet, so.
Yeah. So Asuelu and Kalani, which have been toxic since day one,
Yes.
they actually decided to get a divorce after Kalani revealed on the show that he'd been cheating on her basically the entirety of their marriage. I think she said it was like around 12 times.
Yeah.
And
Internet cheating, in-person cheating.
Yes.
The man got thrush in his throat from eating some random woman's box.
yeah.
So it is what it is.
And
you see what we're dealing with here.
But because of that last incident, he actually ended up giving her a hall pass in which she met another man.
Forgot about this.
And they slept together. And she realized, oh, there's other fish in the sea.
She likes this guy.
She likes this guy. And at one point in the show, he actually came down to visit her at the couple's retreat location.
At the resort.
They saw each other. They ended up having sex. And it basically confirmed to her, like, I am no longer in love with my husband.
Yeah.
I'm ready to be out. And that was the straw that broke the camel's back. She just realized, I'm no longer attracted to this man. Like, I'm physically ill looking at him and thinking about having sex with him.
Right. Well, and then also it is good to know that he was trying, right? That was the reason that they came to the thing, because they have 2 kids. They have 2 boys. And that, you know, he was very emotional about it. He was always crying about it. He's obviously very remorseful, blah, blah, blah. But then he and the other guys on the trip, the husbands, whatever, they all group up and they go to a fucking strip club, okay? Strip clubs are bad juju all the way around.
Yes.
Especially for someone who's in a relationship.
Unless you're going together to the strip club.
Unless you're going
that I endorse.
Right. We haven't done that yet.
No.
Our time will come. So anyways, he goes to the strip club and he's the one who's the most rockiest and who's closest to being single out of all these guys, right? He's pretty much single. He's not getting any play from his chick.
Yep.
She's out here staying the night with some dude that flew to the resort. Craziness. So anyways, he's getting lap dances and blah, blah, blah. And you could see a glimpse of that dog in him, right? When he was at that strip club, you can see...
He loves that shit.
You can see the guy in him that got the thrush, that did the cheating 12 times. So anyways, so they ended up splitting up.
Those are fucking crocodile tears, though. I'm sorry. Like, if you do but if you do something once, it's a mistake. If you do something 12 fucking times, you have a problem that cannot be solved by anybody except a fucking professional.
And then, you know, they were also saying, because they're both Samoan, right? And
so, divorce is not a thing.
And they said that divorce is not a thing, and that also men are not educated on, like, it's like socially acceptable for men to fuck around. You know, way worse than Puerto Ricans, right? Way worse than us. It's like the women accept it, right? It's almost, I bet you the women, it's probably so socially acceptable that the women flirt with men that are taken because they already know. Like, I'm sure it's just a thing.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm going to go fuck her man.
That shit's wild. So they were the only couple to announce that they were not going to get divorced. Michael and Angela are staying together. That whole shit is so crazy. I'm like, I don't know how you date somebody that's like 30 years older than you, but cool.
She's a walking Marlboro Red. Literally a walking Marlboro Red. If you could picture that, a picture of Marlboro Red.
I don't think there's a more accurate description.
A Budweiser can and a fucking trailer in Alabama somewhere with a pet alligator. This is the woman.
You had Big Ed and Liz. Oh my God, Big Ed is like, he swears he's the reformed narcissist, but I'm like, the narcissist doesn't actually ever get healed.
He's bad. You guys gotta go watch.
He's got gaslighting
guy,
on you know, perfected as a science.
He bows up to grown ass men that would beat the shit out of him.
Yes.
He's all like, "What do you want to do?" I'm like, "Oh, bro, you're crazy."
And then we had
I couldn't take him serious. I'm like, I don't even want to hit you now.
No,
I already know.
You already know that's going to be a fight that you're going to win unfairly. And then Yara and Jovi.
Ooh, yeah, how'd that go?
So they stayed together, which I was surprised about because while the guys went on their stripper escapade, he actually texted one of his stripper friends who worked at the club that they went to because he wanted to quote unquote just get her to give them, like, you know, a good itinerary of like where they should go and maybe meet up. This was a stripper that he went on vacation with, that he swore up and down that they didn't have sex. But
this is before the relationship, though. He didn't like go on vacation with this chick. This is before. But either way, the moral of the story is he's a strip club rat.
Yes,
he's the one who. So continue.
No, he told told Yara that they never hooked up, even though they went to Jamaica for 2 weeks, you know, whenever they knew each other. But
You guys do the math.
they asked him on camera, like, you know, one of those sidebar things that they do, like, did y'all sleep together? And he said, oh, yeah, of course. So it's just like, bitch, why are you lying? You know they're going to get you on the fucking reunion. So it is what it is. But
Some of this stuff, I wonder how orchestrated it is, you know, how scripted it is. You know, with the Jasmine and Dane thing, when I see Dane.
Oh, that's from another season.
Yeah, it's from another. But when I see Dane, he's not really goo-goo eyes for Jasmine. He's not like flirtatious. He's not grabby, feely. It feels very acquaintancy, right? And it's like, how easy it is for the show just to be like, hey, we're going to spice up this relationship on the show. And you need to act like this is your man who lives in the same building. Mm-hmm. And then we need to like make this whole storyline.
Well, yeah,
like,
all of it is scripted.
You could be fucking Dane, and then he did help you with the butt implants, but don't tell Gino. And Gino, when she does tell you, make sure you're like, what the hell, Jasmine?
All I know is that watching this show makes me feel very good about my own relationship, because I'm like, there's so much fuck shit going on here. If that's even like half of what we're seeing, I'm like, y'all can have it.
Yeah.
I don't want it.
Yeah, I'm a very simple, calm, relaxed life in general.
Yeah, I don't like the drama.
Spirit.
Been there, done that. We've both been there, done that. Ain't nobody got time for it.
Ain't nobody got no time.
You know what else ain't nobody got time for? Apparently Elon Musk wants to make X, aka formerly known as Twitter, a fucking dating app.
Is this going to be $1,000 barrier to entry?
I hope not. But so this was reported on Fox Business recently that he wants to turn X into a dating app because it's his push to basically turn it into a quote everything app. And let me explain what that actually is talking about.
Another Facebook, I guess.
Basically,
Facebook has dating. They have marketplace.
Basically. So it's going to be allegedly an opt-in feature on the app, right? So it's kind of like Facebook Marketplace, like you participate if you want to. But, you know, basically Elon Musk is trying to convince us that this is going to save humanity from extinction, because apparently there's declining fertility rates in developing countries. And so he's planning on making X like 10 times better than conventional dating apps to prevent population collapse.
He's been on this storyline. You guys, I don't know if anybody, I'm sure a lot of the dudes out there watch the Joe Rogan podcast and the infamous Elon Musk episode. And then he just did another one, actually. I think it was like literally today. But he's been saying this whole underpopulating, no breeding.
He's got like fucking 11 kids. So I'm like, you keep going, sir.
Yeah, I mean, you can have kids for us, man. I mean, I don't know what the deal is.
Well, he's looking at developed countries with like America and like places where it's very fucking expensive to have a kid, right? Like nowadays it costs upwards of $300,000 to raise a child from age 0 to 18. And that's not factoring in college. So it's like, oh, no shit. Nobody's having fucking kids because we can't afford it. Because we're literally going to end up living in a box, right? Versus developing countries, one of the reasons why, you know, developing countries are in the situation that they are is because there is less population control, in the sense of like less access to birth control, less access to just like basic health education.
Right.
So obviously he's looking at one end of the spectrum versus like the entirety of the world. You know, places like China, places like India, where there's like 1 billion plus people. There's no lack of human beings in those parts of the world. Okay.
The picture that you showed me of Rosalia.
So apparently Rosalia is suspected of dating a actor or of some, he's an actor in Hollywood.
He's like a super white looking guy. She goes from Rao to...
I forget what the guy's name is, but he's an actor.
Not that it matters. I meant about him being white. Sorry.
Right. You're half white, so
that's what I mean.
You're allowed to say
Not
that.
That it matters.
I hope that she's happy, because Rao was clearly crying over her ass enough to like make a whole ass love song talking about I wish you well. Mm-hmm. She hasn't really said anything. She hasn't really so I think we can see just from the evidence that he was not the reason. She was the reason.
Yeah.
And we wish her all the best.
Yep. Bendición.
You said bendición. Okay, so I was watching TikToks because that's just what I do in my spare time, and it's a great place to go down rabbit holes.
Roll the clip.
So I was sent a video of a man being interviewed on a podcast. And truthfully, I'm sure I can stop right there. And you already know where this is going. But this man talks about how he broke up with his girlfriend while she was getting ready for the Miss America pageant. He goes on to say that she was throwing up and then she was crying on the floor in front of him. And he says the reason why he did it was because he was trying to be a good guy. And he said eventually, she went on a cruise and she met this guy that was one of the most handsome men that he's ever seen. The man was like some big athlete. And he was like, so she went on and to be happy. She ended up marrying that man 5 years later. And he was like, that guy, her meeting that guy was just enough to peel her away from me. The hubris, the self-aggrandizing of this man was nauseating. To find a way to position himself as a hero in a story where he is clearly the villain is just beyond me. You broke up with this woman while she's getting ready for the Miss America pageant, and somehow you're the victim? The reason why I'm making this video is because you got to be careful, ladies, because sometimes you could be sleeping with the enemy. Sometimes your biggest hater is the man that's sharing your bed. Some men cannot stand to see you celebrated, cannot stand the idea of you achieving some level of success that eclipses where they are in life. Because he goes on in his story to talk about how he wasn't where he wanted to be in life, but years later he started a business and everything like that. But he's like, I'm glad I let her go because she was able to find happiness. No thanks to you. The people who break up with you the day before your final, always want to start a fight with you on or near your birthday, on or near the day that you are trying out for some big job or going to an interview. Some people cannot stand the idea of the spotlight being on you, and they will sabotage your success. I'm going to need him to stop telling that story and to stop telling it in a way that makes himself feel better. You broke up with her when she was at her peak. Because whatever he broke up with her for, I'm sure it was probably an issue weeks ago or months ago. But no, you saw that moment, and the pettiness in you made you say, nah, this is the time I want to do it right now. Right when she's like her happiest. Some men love to see you knock down a couple of pegs. You don't want your hater to be your own man. If he can't stand celebrating you, if he can't stand when the spotlight's on you, if he can't stand the fact that you seem to be elevating at a faster or higher pace than him, you need to beware of that guy because he will sabotage your success. Some men are with you, but they don't really like you, not like you like that, because they cannot stand to wish you well. Beware of men who cannot stand to see you celebrated.
Okay.
Wow, that was a crazy clip, as you guys can see, right? That was pretty triggering, I guess, a little bit.
I think she has a very valid point just because I know what it's like to be with somebody who's secretly a fucking hater.
Right.
And so the idea that there are people out here, not just men, but there's, any gender, you could be with a hater. You could be with somebody who is okay with you doing good as long as you're not doing better than them. And I think we even know friends and family members who are those people that when you say you've accomplished something, they quickly want to one up you and be like, oh, well, I'm doing this and blah, blah, blah. Right. I have a cousin who's like this, who it's like, I launch a food blog. She wants to launch a food truck. And then she's like, every time I talk to her about, shit that I was doing, it was just like, oh, well, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And it was kind of just like, well, we're not talking about you right now. Yeah. And it was just very ghetto.
The show?
No.
Okay.
She doesn't support anything that I do, but she loves to be the person in the family events that's always look at me, I'm so fucking fabulous. Look at this new thing that I bought in my house. Look how beautiful my children are. Look at the artwork that, she's that person that's just always just one-upping people.
Yeah.
And so I think we all have at least one of those people in our lives. But I think her argument is valid. If you feel unsupported in your relationship, and you feel like you got to stay small and you can't brag about your accomplishments and all that shit, you're probably with a fucking hater. And I was just I experienced such a stark contrast of that with you when we were in New Orleans recently for FinCon. And you were just happy to be behind the scenes, taking videos, pictures, everybody was commenting to me like how sweet it was to like see you just being so supportive. I've never experienced that. And so, I just want y'all to know, like, it's not that everybody's a fucking hater out there. You just have to find the person who's like literally okay being your cheerleader, being your support system, and understanding that like one person's success is both of y'all's success.
Yeah, I grew up always playing team sports, and then I did individual, like the motocross racing and stuff. But I've always been a part of camaraderie. When I did ROTC all 4 years of high school, and I did the rifle team, and that's not the drill team where they flip the rifles. I was actually on the shooting team, and then playing football. Varsity football and stuff like that too. Is I embrace the team. Mm-hmm. I embrace the teamness. I know what that means. I did the same thing when I had my business. I made sure everybody was taken care of, picking up slack here and there. Yeah. And that's what it is. It's a team. I think I've said that since we've met, is that, it's a team thing. And also, I think people get jealous, and I think that people get jealous. I think they get insecure because, they're not doing anything. I'm not over here building anything for myself, right? I'm not over here like, I'm going to start a fucking TikTok, or I'm going to try to be a fucking coach too. Like, there's just certain things like that. Sometimes people see something working and they want to do the same thing because it looks easy. And anytime someone's good at something, it's going to look easy. Mm-hmm. So the team thing I've always been a big proponent of that. But I think that, and I know she's talking about someone else's situation, but I don't know if she got the right point though. I think she was so fixated on like attacking the man and trying to belittle the man and make the man the problem and try to be like, and you're the victim and blah, blah, blah. I'm pretty sure he wasn't walking around saying like she got married and blah, blah, blah because she was with me.
Yeah, I guess we'd have to go back and listen to the podcast, right? We don't know. It's just like a retelling of it.
Right. So I think that you got to kind of navigate it a little differently. I think the first thing I asked when we got done watching it, I was like, does she have a man? I guess what I'm looking for is a little more understanding. It doesn't
just like an objective, like just take on it.
Yeah, just like it's fine that she has the woman's back and all that. That's great. But also be mature enough to be like, have your moment, berating the man, but also flip it a little bit and just be like, but I also wasn't there, so I don't know. Mm-hmm. Just a little quick little thing just to like, because it makes people like me, I'm like, okay, well, at least they're aware that there's another option or another storyline to what you're saying. It doesn't have to be this guy's a piece of shit because he wanted to sabotage this woman during her pageant, and he did that out of spite, and now he's walking around trying to play the victim in some weird way because she moved on. I don't know. Yeah. It's I don't know.
All right, it's time for the infamous Reddit thread, but this is not an Am I the Asshole Reddit thread. This is from the Confessions Reddit thread. This actually went viral a couple years ago because this is not a new thread. So there was articles and shit and all that stuff written about this. Okay. The title of the article is, or the Reddit thread is, I ghosted my boyfriend of 5 years. I came over to his house one morning to surprise him with breakfast and a video game that he wanted, only to find him naked, asleep, and with his ex curled up in his arms.
Boom. He
didn't hear me come in, so I closed his bedroom door and left his breakfast and game on the kitchen counter, along with the keys to his house. God. I went to my car, deactivated my Facebook, and blocked him on all other forms of social media. I then called my phone provider to change my number before driving off. I texted family members and close friends that we were no longer together and to block him on social media as well. I didn't tell them why. I was in a position to end the lease to my apartment early, and I started a new job in a different city that week. I completely removed myself from him and didn't offer a shred of explanation or opportunity for dialogue. I disappeared from his life after his betrayal, and I think it'll not only help me focus on myself without his presence, but I think completely shutting myself off from him will hurt him worse than anything when he thinks about how good he had it with me this last 5 years. Gangster.
It's gangster, but it's also giving coward.
Why?
It's cowardly to avoid the confrontation, to avoid the conversation, to avoid the whole entire thing, and be an adult about the situation and just take it on head first and acknowledge it and do what you have to do. Instead, I'm just going to change my entire life all over this one little incident, that's just giving there's no fight in that fight or flight. She's all flight.
You think it's giving too much power to him?
She's a bad flight risk. I wouldn't even trust her as a friend because, I just don't think that she handled it very well. I think that she...
What would you have done?
Had a mental breakdown in a sense, and she short circuited, and she didn't know what to do, and she was just freaking out, and she sat in the car in the parking lot and changed her phone number and shit. That's just giving. It's just in her mind, it was easier to change her entire existence than it was to just confront the man in the bed and throw the fucking breakfast at him and be like, "Don't ever fucking talk to me again." Now you get to keep your Facebook. Everything's fine. You've been on Facebook since 2007. Like, why are you going to get rid of 15 years of friends? That's crazy. So I don't agree with what she did or how she handled it, but...
What would you have done?
I probably would have thrown the breakfast thing and shouted the obscenities and tried my hardest not to damage any property. Because nobody wants to go to jail, right? That's not fun. But I definitely would have blew his whole spot up. I would have come in there and been like, I've been fucking him. I fucked him yesterday. So I don't know what he's been telling you, but he's been fucking both of us.
Yeah.
So you need to go get checked. I'm going to go get checked. He's probably fucking other people too. So I would blow his spot up like that. I love the videos where like the chick's dating and the two dudes meet each other, right? And then they bring the chick to dinner, and they're like, or the one dude's at dinner. And then the other dude walks up, all orchestrated and sits down and is like, so what the fuck? And she's just like, I can't believe you guys.
Yeah.
So I think that she should have handled it a little bit better. I think maybe in the future she will regret, if she doesn't now, I think she will regret the way that she did handle it. There's no point in changing the number and losing the Facebook and the job and everything.
Yeah, I think she's giving him way too much power over like her life with those decisions.
Yeah, I mean, it reminds me of a friend you have, I feel like would do all of those things.
I mean, I probably would have done some of those things back in my more immature days. But I think for me, I'm just kind of like, I get it. I think her whole, I just want to hurt him. But I don't even know if he was really hurt by all that because I would think for me, he probably didn't give a fuck about you to begin with.
Yo. He was smashing his ex. She didn't even wake him up. She left the breakfast on the counter with the game.
Yeah.
And then
I would have gotten my money back at least.
She erased herself from his life. He won. And he dodged a huge bullet because of how shaky she is.
No confrontation.
He doesn't want a woman like that in his corner who's going to buckle under the least amount of pressure. I mean, God forbid.
But he was cheating. Like, come on.
I get it, but I mean, people cheat all the time.
But that doesn't mean like that's okay.
No, I'm not saying it is, but it's like, that's not that serious of a situation for you to like completely erase
upend your whole ass life,
put yourself in witness protection. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I
don't know how long they were together either. So
5 years.
Oh, that's right, 5 years. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think she should have just had some words with him. I would have at this stage. I would have had some words with him. I would have made him understand.
He was probably smashing the ex the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, this was probably not the first red flag that you had. You probably were ignoring a lot of shit because stuff like this doesn't just happen. But I'm like, you know what? More power to you, sis. I hope you found some happiness, and I hope that you don't regret the way that you went about it.
I would have done it a lot different. But now that I'm thinking about the fact that they were together for 5 years and then he was smashing the ex, I mean, damn, that must have been a whole ass relationship on the side. And chances are the ex knew about it, and she was fine playing that role. She was just waiting you out.
There are those people.
She was like, I know he loves me. I know he's going to always fuck with me, and I'll just play my role because I don't like this bitch.
I've seen this.
And I'm just going to do her fucking dirty. I'm going to fuck her man the whole time. And then once he gets tired of her, or she finds out and he's single again, I'm going to be right there to nab him back up. And I bet you he's probably watching 90 Day Fiance with his ex. He's watching Corazon Chronicles.
Oh
Shouts
my
out to
God.
you, bro.
Yeah. Jesus.
And if you find yourself in this crazy situation like that, where you're going to short circuit, you're in the parking garage and you're on the phone with T-Mobile and you're like, you put the phone down for a second and actually, no, pick the phone back up, go to your web browser and go to BetterHelp. Okay.
Yes.
BetterHelp.com/Corazon and talk yourself off of that ledge. Okay. Because all this is not going to get anything done for anybody in a positive manner. You're going to, the whole shit's
Short circuit. I'm literally like, but that's what happens.
Oh, I've seen it in the car. I've red lights and stuff. I've just seen chicks just like,
I fucking short circuited plenty of fucking times. You've seen me do it a couple times too.
yeah, I have.
Again, that is betterhelp.com/corazon to get 10% off your first month and get qualified therapists right at your fingertips.
Yeah, I mean, it's cheaper than quitting your job, relocating to a new city.
Yeah,
all
that
of
shit's a
stuff.
lot, bro. Like, they be charging you fucking hundreds of dollars to like change your phone number if you want to like change the fucking phone company or whatever. It's crazy. Listen, I think moral of the story is tell motherfuckers what they need to hear, because getting shit off your chest is therapeutic, and this is why we go to therapy.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah, I mean, it's like even thinking out loud and stuff like that is huge. So,
Yeah.
just to be able to like say something, and get it out, it is crazy.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what it's like to like confess to like a serious crime, and you're like, I did do that. Oh, I feel so much better.
It has to be relief at some point.
Videos. Yeah, I watched the videos of these guys that are like been on the run, and then they after 9 hours of interrogation, they confess to the murder, and then he's just like, oh man, can I get a cigarette and a cold soda? Because I know I'm going to prison right now. He's like, I feel so much better. I got that off my chest, man. I probably would have ended up with cancer in 3 years, man. I believe in that stuff. I think if you're carrying around some type of toxic energy, some type of black matter, you're just, carrying that around inside you. Hate, resentment, guilt.
Lies.
All of it. I'm telling you, that shit's going to get you.
Yeah.
You're not going to just lose your hair. You're going to lose
your
a
life.
lung or something.
Mm-hmm. So we are recording this on Halloween, which officially, as of tomorrow, makes it the holiday season.
I want Christmas bells.
Yes, we need to superimpose some Santa hats on here. But I think next week we should talk about holiday interactions with your loved ones and your partner, how to manage those. When is the right time to like bring the girlfriend or the boyfriend to Christmas dinner and all of that shit? Because a lot of people are going to be navigating this. But it's something to think about.
It's 7 months too soon to take your boyfriend to your family's house where you grew up.
Yes, boyfriend's coming to New Jersey to meet the dad in person. I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. They're excited too. It's great.
Yeah, so we're going to dive into that topic. If you have questions, as always, that you want us to answer on the show, you can email us at corazonchroniclespodcast@gmail.com. You can follow us on TikTok and Instagram at Corazon Chronicles Pod, and slide in those DMs, y'all, because we're here for it.
Yeah, we should, when we're in Jersey for Thanksgiving, we need to do a duet couple episode with your parents.
Oh my God, yes, we absolutely have to, because they are avid fans of the show. Yes. And are always telling us, like how hilarious they think that we are. I do want, before we close this out, to read a listener DM. She says, every Wednesday I drive around for work while I listen to this podcast. The panic was real when I didn't see the episode posted on Apple, because sometimes, we will post it like at noon on Wednesday, depending on just how productive we were. She says, the panic was real when I didn't see the episode posted, but eventually Apple Podcasts refreshed and I was relieved. LOL, y'all need to be on the ride with me. So I love that.
Hell yeah.
For anybody who is tuning in, we're having so much fun with this podcast, and we want to hear what you want to hear about. Please leave us a rating and review, because that helps us grow. We're still at 5 stars and want to keep that going.
Let's go.
And make sure that you hit the subscribe button so that you never miss an episode.
Awesome, folks. We will see you guys next week.
Adios. Happy Halloween.
See ya.